Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a tactics talk, actually a replay review. I'm coming at you with something, all right? Something is about to happen right here on this channel. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate your support as always. Hit that subscribe button if you like what you see here. If you don't, I don't know. Leave a comment. Say why you don't like it. Tell me what I need to fix. It's a long list. All right, I'll put you right there on that list. The long list of things I need to do to improve. We have Jeb 2. He asked me to analyze this battle. He's in a tier 6 Achilles, a U.S. tank that the Brits use, tank destroyer in this game with a turret. So really kind of a medium heavy-esque thing. And he's in a tier 7 and tier 6 battle. Spawned into the south on Fisherman's Bay Dorf Himmels. One of the more open maps actually in the game. I quite like this map. It's not quite as nice for a light tank as I would like. That central city sort of turns the map into a much closer battle than you might imagine. There's a lot of cover there, so it's not Prokhorovka-esque in that way because there's a lot more ways to hide out in that middle area. But let's just get going. He is running a IA, a rammer, and a turbo. I like that. Becoming more of a fan of turbos, especially for slower tanks. That will make this tank feel a little bit more zippy. And he's going to zip right up here to pretty standard positioning for a TD, really just about anybody from the south spawn. The north spawn doesn't have a corresponding sniper line. It's further back. It's not quite as far forward. I wonder if Wargaming really thought maybe it would be for the north spawn, these bushes down here. But they just don't work as well as this row here along with the H row over here. So he's going to take his Achilles. That's how you pronunciate it. Prove me wrong. This was interesting right here for me. All right, let's talk about this. He wanted me to break this down and see what he could do better. And I'm just going to throw out some advice. You guys do the same down in the comments if you've got some other things to think about. One of the reasons I don't like to go to this spot initially, even though this looks really nice with lots of trees and cover, is there's so many openings right here. Plus you've got to come up and over and kind of expose thyself a lot more really than on this other line that has much better trees over here. And interestingly, he just got spotted by somebody over here. And when I watched this a couple times, I'm like, what on earth? How did he get spotted? That's really the only line of sight, but watch what happens. He's going to come up here. Oh, okay. Super Hellcat got right up in there and spotted him as he went across that little open spot. You can see the opening between the bushes right about there. Very interesting. So I will go where the E25 and the 2801 are. Now, we're going to have a decent amount of success here. It looks like a spot that Jeb uses a bit. He's going to come over here and look for shots. I think maybe he wants to get up high here initially, trying to peek and poke and see if we can make it happen. Doesn't really happen. Here comes the 2801. Then he comes over here. Now I see people do this a lot, and man, that was a really aggressive poke with the side of your tank. Just, you're really lucky nobody was up in one of these bushes, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. The 2801's not there, but see this little promontory right here? There's a bush right about there that I love to get into with the light, and I can see right down that line and see guys poking out like you are, and then all the snippers up here, all the snipperinos, just let them have it. That's why I don't really like this spot. It's just so exposed. There's no bush here to hide you, and you kind of hang out there forever. Plus, like I said, the side of your tank is there. Oof. Now, I think your 2801 took a shot, got spotted, which makes me think there's a light nearby, and in fact there is. There's a T50-2, and there's a 2801. So we're going to move back this way a little bit. And again, the problem with this spot sort of rears its ugly head. It's kind of hard to use without exposing yourself. Unfortunately for this poor fella, he gets tracked and he gets seen by you with a really fast reload. Somebody else thumps him and then you finish him off. And that's a good kill on any map, but it's a great one on this map to get rid of scouts. But we've still got the 2801 to worry about coming back over here. Let's just take stock of the situation here. We got a couple heavies over there on the east side. The M445, a couple guys in the middle for each team, and then we've got the, holy macaroni, can we get more guys back there? 1, 2, 3, 4 TDs all in the back. I like that you're up here though, Jeb, because you're going to get the spotting, you're going to get the shots that they potentially can't get. You have an opportunity to move from the edge of the map on the 1 column all the way back over and take shots onto the 5 and 6 column in the middle. This is just a much better position for flexibility. Again, I would be very careful about just sitting here. I know what you're trying to do. You're hoping this guy will come up and you'll get a shot, or maybe somebody else will. Just beware. I'll just mention again, this position back here, and really even potentially guys in the bush row down here, somebody else sneaks up in the area, and it's not going to be the T50-2 because you killed them, and it's not going to be the 2801 because he's right here. But Hellcats have pretty good spotting. Scorpions, really a lot of these guys do. I wouldn't expect the 29 Tiger E25 as they're platooned. Maybe the E25. We'll find out where those guys are. So just be very careful about sitting out in positions like this. Am I showing you? Yeah, this is what you're looking at. The AT-7's getting killed. I think your decision not to go down there and help him, it's tempting to kind of try to save him and maybe break open the flank, but just take a look at how many guys are left up there on the tank rolls, and it's just not time. This guy sort of loses his mind, I think, right here, and just, I don't know. All right, let's just talk about that. From his perspective, that was way too early in terms of when he was spotted by the AT-7, and you're really asking for it if you do something like that. So if you're going to make that poke with a light tank, say you are the 2801, wait a long time and then wait a little longer. That's all I have to say. I have done the same mistake multiple times. I say count to 10, but it's probably really 16 or 17 to make sure you're safe based on the other things that can keep people lit. I just throw that out. And look at these shots coming in. Is that two different ones? Whack, whack. That was pretty cool. The old smackarino. The Jackson is now moving up. He takes a hit. He's kind of doing it the dumb way. Let's just debrief his actions right here. He's headed for this little promontory, but really you need to hug this side over here. You need to hug the east side along these lines of contour. Vice come right down the middle and get shredded. Now he's going to hang out here, but now he's stuck, right? Either his team pushes or Jeb's team pushes and dies, but he just has a really bad position right there. Artie firing back and forth, Jackson hanging out. In addition to that, look at that. I was just about to say, the Artie knows where he is, so they're probably just going to keep dumping shots in there until he dies. Or if they get a better shot. Notice there's nobody lit, so why would they shoot anybody else but this dude? Nice shot right there. So we are getting some damage done here. We're at 300 damage, 299 assists. I would start thinking now about, all right, what do I want to do? What's the goal? Am I going to help push this side? Man, you're not really in the tank to do it, but you have a lot of backup. And that, let's just break real quick. That's why I like to be in the middle over there, is things like the Type 58 wandering around the middle can get absolutely shredded. And you're just, that was really strange if I'm honest. I thought he was really going to come up and over, so he must have either jammed on the brakes or went into that bush and you didn't see him, which I kind of doubt that would have happened. It was very strange. Now, the purples are pushing, so maybe right now the best plan is to hang out right here, see if you can keep things spotted. They're going to sort of lose their minds here in just a minute. The Achilles takes a couple hits, and it's really tough to push when you've got 3 or 4 TDs up. It looks like the Hellcat wanted to go get some lights. Makes a big mistake, just eats shots. Your depression sort of defeats you right there, because this tank just doesn't have a lot of depression. Those he couldn't even get the gun on, and even from a flat point right there, as far down in altitude or in topography as the Hellcat was. We have a fight going on in the east. We have the heavies in there, and all of a sudden the middle is sort of looking open. You have a good advantage of both hit points and guns right now. I wouldn't say it's a romple stomp at this point, but things are definitely looking good. So you got to be thinking to yourself, what's the plan? Do I want to try to break open this flank, or do I need to move somewhere else? Like, okay, that was huge. The Tiger and the T-29 are dead. Now your team has a massive advantage. Your heavies survived it. You killed a couple of theirs, and now what do we do? And I think at this point is when Jeb decides to go back towards the middle. I might head this way like you did. All right, I wouldn't do it this way, though. I would have absolutely just backed off of the hill this way, as opposed to maybe letting someone in the middle see us. We get by, no problem. And I like this. Maybe, yeah, come up here. I think you take a look. Yeah, not a bad plan here. And we find this Achilles. Forgot about that. This guy just, I don't know what his plan is, but it's not a good one. He's up here looking for shots. You get lit. Good idea. That was the one to talk about as well. When you shoot and you figure you're going to be lit like Jeb did, and he automatically did a courtesy backup, be very careful about going, oh, I'm not lit, and then driving back forward. Make sure you give it a good amount of time, because it does take 3 seconds, and sometimes in your brain with time dilation and whatnot, as you're playing the game, you'll misjudge it, and then you'll walk right back up into a shot, and that's not what you want to do right there. So he waits till he's unlit. Achilles, for whatever reason, is still sitting there. He might even be tracked. He's taking shots in every direction, and for whatever reason, he's still there. Is he tracked? Hard to tell. I don't know. Sometimes, take advantage of it. No idea why he did that. If he was tracked, it was hard to see on the silhouette. I don't think he was. Maybe it had been just fixed and he didn't realize it. There's a lot of things that could possibly go on right there. But that was a good kill, taking down the Achilles. So we're up at 1,100 combined, almost 1,200. Looks like 1,200 or more. And I like this. Let's go over here and help him break down the middle. He sees the E25, who is headed for his arty, about right here. Makes a good decision to just break off. Let's go finish off this E25 so that we don't have multiple people chasing him. That's a great move right there. Not enough lead fire. That thing's moving really fast. And we get him. There we go. Also, this is Cabbage Mechanics voiceover, which is absolutely hilarious. Probably one of the best ones in the game. That's a great line. Have fun in the garage, noob. Move towards the middle. This is clean up on aisle 2. And now what we're trying to do is grab as many hit points as we can without walking into a bunch of damage to ourselves. We see the Scorpion making a runner. We noted an arty on the run over there. I like that you took a stab at the Scorpion by just immediately glomming on to the arty right there. The Scorpion is arguably more dangerous at the moment. There's also a lot of other guns looking at the artillery, and he's on the run, not doing anything. All right, so we have a Scorpion in the middle. He's about a 3-shot. Tempting to just push down and start shooting this guy, but we've got a lot of guns left in the game, so he could disappear. Jeb could disappear very quickly if he's not careful right here, and you can see that he's being so, which I think is a good idea. There's guys lit, so we're just sort of investigating all the shots. Those guys are all behind a hardened building, so nothing going there. The Scorpion's down to a 1-shot. Now is when I would start to consider, let me just roll in there and try to take this dude out as fast as possible. Maybe just snap that shot off and see what happens. Got an artillery running over here, and we thump him. That's nice. There we go, and off we go. So I think potentially in there just an opportunity to be a little more aggressive, although you are one of the guys closest and up in there. I would have snapped that shot off knowing that he was backing up. It can be tricky when to decide to be patient and wait for a good shot and when to just snap one off because you know that's the only shot you're going to get. It's a little bit easier when you have a fast-firing gun like this one. And to me, I would have assessed that Sioux was definitely going to keep on reversing, right? He just took a big hit, and he's just going to keep on reversing right there. I would have just snapped it off, and this thing reloads fast enough that even if I missed and he decided to come back out, I might get that second shot on him right there. I'd be absolutely moving already. We're looking for the Type 58, so we got 972, 735, and 4 kills, and we find this guy, and that's beautiful. Nice side shots into this guy. So looking for the shots there, another thump. We track him as well. We get a little more assist out of that, and we end up with a 2,000 combined damage game at Tier 6 and a little Achilles with 4 kills. I thought a really well-played game, man. All the things I talked about were little things. I'm not super jazzed about that initial position, but it seemed to work out for you. I think that had you been spotted, you could have been punished pretty hard there. That's why I like the better cover that's on the road. Because if you're out there sideways and someone sees you, you may not be able to react fast enough to get back before they just obliterate you on that corner. But you did a good job, got some good damage in there, a little bit of spotting, kind of stopped the little push they attempted, at least helped stop the push that they attempted. And then I liked the flow back over to the middle, all right, the cycle, the metaflex, the reaction, whatever you want to call it, back to the middle to kind of clean that up for your team, and then using that nice central position on this map to start taking shots across all that back edge there. Might have been a little more aggressive against the Scorpion, but the good news is you didn't YOLO in there and die to when they had 5 or 6 guns left. You were careful, you got your damage, and there you go. And you didn't have to pay anything for repair. Gotta love it, man. Nicely done on that one. Any other tips, tricks, tactics you guys might have, chuck them down in the comments for Jeb. Thanks for sending in the replay, man. That's all I've got for today. You guys have a good one, and I will see ya.